Okay guys, I'm going to attempt to make a video showing the basics of how to flash the ICS for the 4.0. This is based off the build number 3.5 from the OP and the new kernel that is listed directly above build number 3.5 in the OP. Okay, so this is starting from a stock ROM with the TerraSilent 1.3.5 kernel installed. Now let's boot into recovery. Focus. Alright, what we want to do from here is we want to go to install zip from SD card. Can't get this damn camera to focus, but it's install zip from SD card. Then choose zip from SD card and scroll to cm9.zip. Scroll up, scroll to yes, install cm9.zip. Well, you're going to get the opening update package, installing update, converting to MTD, and player reboots very quickly. And as you see, we're back into recovery, but we don't want to be back into recovery because that's useless to us. What we need to do right now is we now need to flash the CM9 kernel. So click to reboot system now and hold down the volume down button to jump straight to download mode. There are other methods, but I find that to be the easiest one. Player is now plugged to computer, so let's go over to the computer and open up our already loaded up Odin 3. Come down to PDA, and we are going to select the zimage.tar that was downloaded from the previously mentioned files, and hit start. And that runs the update on the phone to switch us over to the CM9 kernel. Set this down for just a second. At this point, we are now stuck in what is more or less a boot loop. So what we need to do now is, of course, our volume up and our power button, and hold it. Screen goes off. I got it plugged into the computer, so it's going to want to bring up the battery icon. Gotta hold it for a little longer. Scratch that. I forget. I gotta unplug the thing. That's my bad. Okay. So now we're gonna go back into recovery now. So now this is on the CM9 kernel. Alright, and now let's go ahead and, just for the hell of it, this is what worked for me, which is why I'm doing it again, but we're going to wipe data, factory reset, and wait for it to do its thing. Then I'm going to wipe cache partition. Then we're going to go down to advanced and wipe Dalvik cache. Okay, now we go back and we go to mounts and storage, and I am going to go ahead and format system. This is something I picked up from flashing ROMs on my Razor. And now we're going to mount system. And now we're going to go back. We're going to go to install zip from SD card. Choose zip from SD card. And we're going to go back to cm9.zip and install it again. This time it should take a little while, and if you just watch that progress bar, if it does it right, once it does start showing progress on the progress bar, it should move in at least 5 small increments, not 2 or 3 quick jumps, which is how you know, like it did before, and that's how you know it's not flashed properly. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and flash our GApps, so choose zip from SD card again, and choose gapps.zip, that you should have found somewhere in the thread already. Okay, and while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can't go ahead and do the TPSparkyRoot.zip. Don't know if this will break anything right now. Okay, installation aborted, so apparently I can't do that just yet. Alright, so let's go ahead and go back and hit reboot system now. And as you see, we got kicked back into the CM9 recovery. So what we need to do now is hit reboot and get over in the download mode. And let me grab the cable back up here. We're going to plug the player back into the computer. And let's go back over to the computer and go to PDA, and this time we're going to switch over and go back and reflash the TerraSilent kernel. This is just a temporary thing to get us out of being stuck in that boot loop of that kernel. That recovery boot loop, that's a known issue in that kernel. Now you see we're back to TerraSilent, which boots into the TerraSilent kernel, and we will reboot system now. And we will get to this point, and it's just going to hang there. It's not going to do anything. That's okay. That's what we expect to happen. So I need to, just to make it easier, unplug that cable again. Now holding volume down and power. That way we're going to go ahead and set so that when it cuts off from me holding the power, it will automatically kick right back on in the download mode. Now we pick that cable back up, plug it back into our player, come over to the computer, switch back over to the zimage.tar, open it, flash it, But notice we should not go into the recovery this time. We should begin to boot CM9. It does take a while the first time. Keep that in mind. Don't think you're boot looping. And voila! There is the boot animation. And as for the TPSparky fix and the other stuff, I'll try that here in a minute. Not going to bother making a video out of that. Hope this helps everybody else that had trouble with this. Good night.